With Season 1 of Black Ops 6 fast approaching, it's time to evaluate the state of zombies at launch. I've spent a considerable amount of time with the game and wanted to share my thoughts. I had high hopes for zombies this year, and Treyarch has delivered in almost every area, with a few caveats. Here's why this year's mode resonates with me, and what could be done to improve it further. I loved Cold War zombies, but one of its largest issues was the lack of a dedicated crew. I'm delighted Treyarch has addressed this for BO6. Playing as a crew matters. It's one of zombies' most powerful storytelling tools. When you compare Terminus to one of Cold War's round-based maps, the difference is night and day.
Requiem actual strike team is on the ground.
Let's get moving, people. Recon the site, eliminate all hostiles.
The island's central database includes prisoner locations. We spring Maya's brother Nathan, we get the hell out.
Yes, but we cannot access the database without reactivating the island's computer network. Go flip a switch or something.
I hope to God that wherever Nathan's locked up, he's safe.
Characters are yapping again, and long may it continue. The ability to choose between a crew member or another operator is the best of both worlds, and one that many Zombies fans proposed after Sledgehammer's World War II Zombies did something similar. Most players don't object to using an operator in Zombies. It's when they can only use an operator that it becomes a problem. I find it worthwhile to have the option to freshen up the dialogue and play a slightly less talky game of Zombies after I've played a map 1,000 times and have every quote burned into my brain. As for the cast themselves, it's great to hear their voices again after Cold War. The effects of imprisonment in Terminus Island have impacted them, some more than others. Captivity has changed Grey. She feels a lot of guilt over Samantha Max's fate. However, I'm delighted her quirky side, which made her one of the standout characters in Cold War, is still present, albeit with a lot more edge.
Lighten up. We all have enough piss and vinegar to face this head on and laugh.
Weaver and Carver are understandably bitter about being locked up and have a clear vendetta against Richtofen.
6 years. 6 years in that cell. Wherever Richtofen is, you and I are gonna bury him.
Damn straight. That motherfucker picked the wrong people to stick in a cage.
Character conversations. Bliss. Maya the newcomer gets a strong showing. Despite having some attitude, she thankfully sidesteps the mean girl issue that Scarlet had at the beginning of Black Ops 4 by showing vulnerability. As soon as we knew the premise of Terminus, it was inevitable that her brother was going to be a casualty, but it was still harrowing to watch her be the one to pull the trigger on Nathan.
This is on me.
Do it.
Maya, I'm so sorry.
As a quick aside, the presentation of the main quest is reminiscent of Black Ops 3 and 4's very best, with multiple mid-quest cutscenes and a cinematic ending. Treyarch said pre-launch the focus was on show don't tell, and so far so good. Dr. Peck, as always, shines. He's an arsehole, but you can tell there's some good in him. He genuinely cares about Maya, and their dynamic will be interesting to follow considering the rest of the crew still hates his guts. I've always believed in Peck-demption. Hope he doesn't let me down. The return of a dedicated crew is a success, and with any luck, it ensures we'll never go without one again. I also see many players using the crew in multiplayer, which is exciting. New skins will likely be available in the store and via the Battle Pass throughout the seasons. These are a necessary evil, but most will be satisfied if we continue to get earnable cosmetics via Easter egg rewards. Speaking of rewards, they are a fantastic addition. Players have been asking for something like this for years, and I hope we get many more Wonder Weapon skins, operator skins, and blueprints throughout the year. The early completion reward also caters to hardcore Zombies players, while incentivising newcomers to try and unlock them. While the calling card isn't that different to the standard completion one, there's potential for this to develop into something more, like a Mastery Operator skin variant for completing all of the quests early. I'd like to see a pool of rewards for solo completions down the line as well. The camo challenges, calling cards, prestige rewards and mastery badges gives players hundreds of hours to grind if that's what they're into. I like to take my time with this aspect to avoid burnout and ensure I'll have something to do in the quieter periods, but I'm happy with the volume of unlockables, especially with some of the tougher Dead Ops calling cards. The core gameplay of Black Ops 6 is a more refined version of Cold War Zombies, addressing much of the feedback from it. Weapon rarity and triple pack-a-punch returned, and salvage is down to one individual currency. no more common and rare. This makes it much easier to keep track of your points and salvage. I like the rarity system because it allows players to upgrade their weapons multiple times without making it feel monotonous like in Advanced Warfare Zombies or Black Ops 4. There are roughly 20 different power levels in total, but you don't need to go through each and every one of them to reach the maximum level of Tier 3 Pack-a-Punch Legendary. Black Ops 6 also improves in Cold War by allowing you to bypass rarity tiers if you have enough salvage, which is a sweet quality of life update. I like the slight change of ammo mods moving to the Arsenal machine. Although ammo mods are the evolution of double Pack-a-Punch abilities, having the Pack-a-Punch just exist for Pack-a-Punching makes it feel like a big deal again. It's a lot of fun using the Mangler's moves against it and the Horde through the mutant injection streak. It also addresses the issues that some had with Cold War's inclusion of streaks feeling too much like an addition from multiplayer. The endgame screen following quest completion that asks if you want to end the match or continue playing is a long requested feature that I'm happy to see appear. It's a nice way to respect the continuity of a map without restricting players from carrying on after completing the quest. The perkaholic and random loot drops are the cherry on top. The augment system is one of Black Ops 6's most noteworthy mechanics. It combines the positive aspects of Black Ops 4's controversial perk system and Cold War's overpowered tier upgrades into an easy to understand system that rewards player experimentation. Each perk, field upgrade and ammo mod can be enhanced via a major and minor augment. This can be as simple as an extra field upgrade charge or something that transforms an ability. Augments also give a home to fringe perks that aren't beneficial enough to justify taking up a perk slot like Dying Wish and Electric Cherry. The beauty of this system is it lets perks be perks again while enjoying all the benefits of the other perk systems. Black Ops 4's system forced players to lock into 4 specific perks, excluding Secret Sauce, pre-match. Augments allow players to use every perk in the map without concern, and while you are locked into your augments once a match starts, the benefits aren't so substantial that you feel like you're missing out by picking one over the other. Being limited to one major and one minor augment out of the pool also corrects the error Cold War's tier upgrades made, as players don't become overpowered with no way to remove the abilities. If you want to run a match with no augments, you can do so. The slow rate of unlocking augments was the correct decision, as it forces players to experiment with each augment instead of selecting one and never changing it. Tinkering with builds is a nice way to increase the strategy behind zombies, and augments nails it. With more augments expected post-launch, I'm looking forward to continuing to work on builds that suit my playstyle. The announcement that Gobblegum would be returning was controversial, but after experiencing it, I think most will be pleased to see it back. The abilities of each gum are helpful but not game breaking. The Ultra Gums are undoubtedly powerful, but they don't come easy, at least at launch. The balance encourages players to use gums from all tiers, and some returning gums have been reworked. A good example is Soda Fountain, which is now a one-time use. Admittedly, I was a bit worried about being able to hold 3 Gobblegums at once, but my fears have been allayed. Having multiple gums to pop unlocks a new level of strategy previously unavailable in Black Ops 3 and 4's consumable system, as combining gums can create exciting new gameplay opportunities. For example, holding on to a temporal gift and a killjoy, waiting for double points, popping the temporal gift, collecting the double points, and then popping the killjoy gives you a minute of double points with 30 seconds of the best combo known to man. There are all sorts of possibilities to experiment with augments and gobblegums in Black Ops 6, and with more coming throughout the year, the number of combos to test will only increase. Earning gobblegums is also streamlined for the better. There's no middleman currency now. You see the Mr. Peaks animation play, the number of gum rewarded, and then you know what you've earned. Based on feeling alone, the earn rate is fair so far. Getting an Ultra Gum doesn't feel impossible, but you still have cause for celebration whenever one pops up. There isn't a match that goes by where I'm not unlocking at least 2 or 3 different gums. Gobblegum balance and economy will likely jump around throughout Black Ops 6, but I'm satisfied with where both are at launch. Both launch maps are filled to the brim with Easter eggs and potential dangers. Terminus is the clear star of the two, but Liberty Falls deserves respect after its poor showing at the Call of Duty Next showcase. The map has proven many of its doubters wrong by being an addictive map with wide lanes that complement the tight spaces of Terminus' central island. If both maps played the same, it would feel like there was only one map with a change of scenery. Thankfully that's not the case. I really like Liberty Falls' setting. It nails the quaint town gone wrong premise, and zombies in the daylight is something I always get a kick out of. However, having a few more buildings to explore would have been nice, as Liberty Lanes and Ollie's comic shop are 2 highlights. The quest isn't groundbreaking, but is a solid enough workout, especially if you attempt the Dark Ops speedrun challenge, which is a lot of fun to master. I appreciate that the final encounter is different from a traditional boss fight. It makes the map stand out more and lets the Terminus boss fight shine. It's also no walk in the park, as the area you're limited to is tiny and the abomination can move swiftly. Terminus is a beast of a map. The island and its surroundings make up one of the biggest playable areas in round-based history, and the atmosphere is up there with some of Zombies' best. A massive Zombies map lives or dies by its traversal, and Terminus nails it. You can reach any area of the mainland quickly thanks to various elevators and parkouring opportunities. Thanks to the raft spawning system, exploring the smaller islands and navigating the choppy waters is fluid. It gives players the same sense of freedom that Outbreak did, which was a welcome surprise as a fan of that mode. The Zombies team has successfully inserted what it learned from the open world experiments of Outbreak and Modern Warfare Zombies into a classic round-based experience. The expansive enemy variety of Terminus keeps things interesting, even in the later rounds. Vermin and parasites are solid popcorn enemies that can become legitimate threats if you aren't careful. It's been a while since a mini-boss has felt like a genuine threat. The Amalgam delivers. It's a heavy hitter thanks to its multiple appendages, and its grab attack can prove fatal. The main quest makes excellent use of the different islands. This could easily have been a Revelations-like disaster where players are hindered by travelling to anywhere outside of the mainland, but thankfully it avoids that pitfall. It delivers on the promise of a more challenging quest, another pain point many had with Cold War, by providing a combination of logical puzzles and hidden steps. While there are still some things I would change to enhance future Easter egg hunts, it's clear the quest design has been up to notch from Cold War. Patient 13 boss fight is up there with one of the best. I like that the arena is essentially just a loop for players to train around, and navigating it may be second nature for most players, but the precariousness of the water below and the massive tentacles keep every player on their toes. Perhaps controversial, but I enjoy when a boss has a white mechanic, as it raises the stakes considerably and tests players' knowledge of how to navigate the map. The bombshell ending sets the stage for an unpredictable DLC season. With the Chaos story linked up with the Dark Ether and Richtofen chasing a Sentinel artifact, I can only guess where we'll end up. As someone sad to see Chaos get the axe in Black Ops 4, any sort of crossover, big or small, excites me. Despite the positives of both main quests, I do think there's more Treyarch can do to increase the potential length of hunts. In particular, the yellow outline that key quest items have around them could be removed. The keycard step in Terminus, for example, would have taken a lot longer for players to figure out, as the outline wouldn't have caught anyone's eye. The deep, dark water of the island was the perfect place to sneak in some items, so making them obvious feels like a wasted opportunity. I think the yellow outlines would be better suited for directed mode or repeated playthroughs. They dull the discovery of hidden items, as do the pop-up cards that appear. These cards also make intel a bit too easy to discover. This would have been much appreciated in Modern Warfare Zombies, where hunting for a radio in Urzikstan was like finding a needle in a haystack. For round-based, I think the magic of discovering an audio log or radio is lost a little. The clues in the intel menu, which I'm a big fan of, already serve the purpose of tracking down any tough to find radios. It feels a bit like a hat on a hat. I'm relieved the intel menu is returned from Cold War, but there are a few things missing. I'd like to see these missing features, like audio transcripts and the ability to examine artifacts, return eventually. The save and quit feature for solo players is excellent, but the pause timer needs an increase, or at least the ability to reset the timer after a specific round or time. I've seen some questions about why it's there in the first place, and the answer is likely to free up server space with the Zombies being online only since the move to the unified Call of Duty engine. It is slightly frustrating. Zombies has never had issues with solo pause up to and including Cold War. It was only when Vanguard notoriously launched without a pause function that we started having this issue. I'd imagine it's out of Treyarch's hands, but hope work can continue to make pausing better. The Mangler spam past round 30 is a bit aggressive, and I'm also just a bit sick of the Mangler. Since Firebase Z, it's been in the majority of Zombies experiences. The Mangler's a great special zombie, but the mode has had so many memorable specials and mini-bosses because they are constantly swapped out between maps. Hopefully we can get some new bosses in the post-launch maps, or the return of the Panzer or the Margwa. The damage output for regular weapons drops off a cliff in high rounds. While this was the traditional way to make high rounds harder, combining it with enemy damage scaling means that zombies get stronger while the player gets weaker. The positives far outweigh the negatives for me, and I expect most of these complaints will be addressed in post-launch updates. Black Ops 6 Zombies is a stellar display of round-based undead mayhem. Treyarch has created a strong foundation for the future by taking the gameplay of Cold War, revising it to address feedback, and integrating fan-favourite features from throughout Zombies' storied past. It is the most stable and content-rich Call of Duty Zombies release since Black Ops 3, and we have a year of free DLC to look forward to, starting with Citadel, Day More. I'm optimistic the momentum can continue into 2025 and beyond. With an influx of new players coming to the mode via Xbox Game Pass and positive word of mouth, there's no reason why Zombies can't grow to new heights. Here's hoping there are plenty more quality experiences to look forward to.